Hi and welcome to the Science Fantasy Experience and to part 2 of my haul video. So this is everything that I've picked up, purchased, gifted for the past few months. Maybe about 3-4 months actually. Kind of stockpiled, I guess. I've bought stuff and then just put it to one side for a specific haul video. I kind of knew at some point I've amassed a few things, so my plan was to do a haul video, but I've kind of just been sporadically going to the toy shop, sometimes impromptu, other times pre-planned, and then a couple of orders have come in here and there and all that jazz. OCD has kind of kicked in and I have put them in chronological order, I think. So here we go. Firstly, back at the start of the year when we were in lockdown 3, I made the decision to sell my retro gaming collection. It had been in storage for quite some time, and I'd wanted to get to a point where I just want to have one hobby. And I want to make toy collecting just the one thing that I do. I don't want to spread myself and my finances across too many things anymore. You know, the first lockdown, I sold my vinyl collection. Second lockdown, I sold all my Warhammer stuff and my customs. And then third lockdown, I sell my retro gaming collection. And it's given me a wonderful peace of mind. I can now just focus on the thing that I enjoy the most, and that is collecting toys, different toys. And it turns out that I had some very desirable computer games. I didn't get much for the consoles, which that's surprising. You can pick up consoles pretty quickly, but some of the games I had were rare, and they were worth a lot on the secondary market. So I was definitely in a position to buy toys and, as I said, do impromptu toy visits, and it felt like the right thing to do. Don't get me wrong, I still love music and I'll probably pick up, you know, coloured vinyl here and there of select pieces, and I still enjoy painting miniatures, but I'm going to put that on the back burner. I also don't have the time to do that, and also with McFarlane making kick-ass 7-inch action figures of Warhammer, I'm all good. What did I pick up first? So I was at my local convenience store, the Co-op, and my kids were pointing crazy at this little toy rack, and I was just like, okay, you can get something from there, you can get some new bouncy balls or something. But what they were pointing at is carded vehicles, because I'd picked up some tractors for them. But what they didn't realise they were pointing at was a Hot Wheels Turtles wagon, and I was just like, wow, that's incredible, that's super cool. And I was instantaneously taken back to my childhood. I was just overwhelmed with just pure nostalgia and incredible memories. Not necessarily for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because this was much further back when I would go to my local newsagents on a Saturday and go and spend my pocket money on a Matchbox car. It felt just like that, and just seeing it in a store, I just had to get one, and just the fact that it's the party wagon is super cool. Absolutely just waves of nostalgia. and it just reminded me so much of my dad driving us to, the village newsagents. Although one time we went on a Sunday, which was a mistake, I guess. No, not a mistake. It's just things were different back in 1982. Sunday trading lords, newsagents were only open till 1 o'clock, and you could only buy consumables like food and magazines and newspapers. They would always cordon off all the other stuff in the newsagents, like the toys. But my little hand had reached over from, the purple cord and reached out for a Matchbox car. My dad had gone to get the paper, taken us to the counter, put it on the desk, and the lady was just like, "Oh no, we can't sell you that. We're not allowed to." And obviously my heart sank. I wasn't going to get the Matchbox car that I'd picked out. But the nice lady said, "Oh, you can put it by and pick it up another day." And obviously I left distraught. What my dad did, though, was he went the following day at like 6 a.m. in the morning, because he went to work super early, drove all the way to the local village newsagents, 6 a.m. to go and get this one Matchbox car and nothing else before he went to work, so I had it to play with. What a legend. Yeah, that's first pickup of the haul. I'm super tempted to open it, but if I see another one, then I'm gonna crack this bad boy open. Keeping on the theme of supermarkets, convenience stores, I popped to my local supermarket, obviously to do the weekly shop, and we went upstairs to the household department in Asda, and I was blown away by what toys they had there. I've definitely been under this misconception that supermarkets just sold overly priced Lego sets and really cheap, tacky, plasticky toys, which, yeah, they still do. But I guess I kind of just don't figure supermarkets to have adult collectibles. And I saw Star Wars Vintage Collection 3.75 figures and Marvel Legends 3.75 action figures. Well, this is a shock to me. I couldn't believe it. So obviously I rummaged through there and I found exactly the character I was looking for. The crazy thing with Asda is that it's obviously just somebody stacking shelves, and they, like any good employee, they literally just threw them on the shelf because it was just an absolute mess. Unless there's collectors going in to grab all the Cara Dunes, they can. So they've got like Hulk and Captain America and Ms. Marvel or Captain Marvel, which are Carol Danvers. But yeah, I spotted these and I was just like, oh my god, translucent plastic. This is exactly what I want for my Spider-Man and his amazing friends display. I'm kind of in that process, I have been for months, of trying to build a Spider-Man and his amazing friends display in the Calyx. I've got Diamond Select's Spectacular Spider-Man. Obviously I needed an Iceman and Firestar, but what I wanted to do was get an eclectic mix of different scales and companies, and this just absolutely fits the purpose. The artwork is stunning, like the figure looks super cool. There was a few there, and part of me when I got home was just like, I should have bought two. But I've always had the ethos of if you see two, leave one for the next collector. So I I obviously did. But yeah, should have picked up 2. Luckily, I went to my local independent toy seller, and there we go, we got another one. And these are under a tenner. I think they were like $8.99 in like Asda and like Sona Toys. So, do you know what? Like, through this whole video, let's open some toys. Which has got the best card? Right, we're gonna keep that one for display purposes. Yeah, that one's got a ding. Both unpunched, which is, considering they were just throwing them on the shelves, they could have left them unpunched. Who knows? But yeah, little cool cutout card, which I'll probably do. But yeah, let's crack this bad boy open. OG, absolutely love it. So I'm not fussed about the card because I'm gonna cut out the Iceman card on the back. Oh, he's fun. He's loads of fun, and God, he weighs absolutely nothing. So what have we got? Okay, there's more articulation. I just thought it was going to be like 4 points. So yeah, you got head, but you've actually got like an arm, twist, and leg. He's awesome. He really picks up the light. Obviously going to be displayed, something like that. Oh yeah, he's incredible. And like under a tenner? How much fun are these? Maybe the next time I'm in the supermarket I might pick up a Hulk. The colour on him really, really popped. So, what have we got next? We have got Masters of the Universe Origins Skeletor. So, I've never been fussed for the past few years for having a Skeletor. I kind of got a Super 7 Hordak, and he was enough for me. He's my favourite villain of Masters of the Universe. I find him super sinister and just a hardcore villain. But I've just been watching just loads of He-Man cartoons, and I kept on seeing this guy every time I went to the various toy stores, and I was just like, yeah, I do want a Skeletor. And in some ways I did miss out on getting the screen accurate Super 7 version, which I was umming and ahhing about getting that, but then he was... the cheapest I ever saw him was like 25 quid, or I think it was like $29.99 for that incredible Japanese boxed one, which, don't get me wrong, it looks impressive. But obviously I didn't go for it. Blessing in disguise, because this guy is awesome. So much articulation, he's so poseable, he exudes kind of enough toy aesthetic and comic aesthetic that it's good to have that different feel and vibe for Skeletor. You know, I want to build up in the same vein as my Spider-Man and his amazing friends display plan. I want to do an ultimate villain, like ultimate 80s leader villain shelf, which I've already started and added to along the way. It's a work in progress. So we've got like G1 Galvatron, the E-Hobby version in screen accurate colours, G.I. Joe Classified Destro, Hordak, and now Skeletor. I want to have this eclectic mix of toy aesthetic, essence of character, screen accuracy, different sizes, and he's gonna fit in perfectly. He's just incredibly vibrant, and I've had him a good few months, and he's been so much fun. I've just been putting him in like different poses. So yeah, this is the beginning of something, isn't it? I'm in for way more of these. So I wasn't lying when I said I was in for more of these. I went for a Man-at-Arms. As a kid, zero interest in Man-at-Arms. Couldn't care in the slightest for that character or that like the toy of him. Partly because the toy didn't have a moustache. If you've ever watched my channel before, I'm all about action figures with moustaches. It's a thing that seems to have escalated over the years. But with getting Skeletor, a few days later I just went back and got another one. And by that time, 2 days later, they were doing a 10% off. So this was just the perfect choice. You know, as I said, I didn't like him as a kid. He's just a dad. You know, he's Teela's dad. But now, as an adult, I dig Man-at-Arms. Like, his asymmetrical view with, you know, his armour on the side, and just going back and doing rewatches of the show. Duncan, Man-at-Arms, he's awesome. Just pure fighter, engineer, a rad dad. Who even says that? Come on. But yeah, like, just the colours on these absolutely pop. Again, I've had this a while, and I've not had the chance to open him, and part of me doesn't want to, because of the packaging is just pure nostalgia when it comes to the 80s. But I will. I think I'll get these. The fact that I got something for my birthday, which I'll show later on, adds to it. Yeah. And I want to see him fully decked out with his weapon and his armour. Teela looks really cool. Do you know what? They all look really cool. There's definitely more purchases to be made, so much so that I've pre-ordered a faker, and the faker comes with different hair, different face sculpt. So just another one, super vibrant. Who doesn't love a robotic He-Man in blue and orange? So getting Skeletor really did set the wheels in motion and kick it off. So I started looking on various toy retailers' websites to think about what I could add to the shelf with, and I was just like, I want to get a Mum-Ra, I want to get a Shredder, I want to get a Cobra Commander, and I was just like, oh man, none of these are coming out for like months and months. Part of me would like to get a Shredder from NECA, but he's in like a 2-pack that's really expensive now on the secondary market. Mum-Ra Super 7 is not out yet, but I got a keen eye for that one. That looks like one hell of a figure. And then I was just minding my own business, and I just thought, you know what, I'll click on G.I. Joe and have a look. I don't like the aesthetic of the classified Cobra Commander, either versions. It's just, it doesn't feel like Cobra Commander to me, so I kind of let that slide. But then I just kept on scrolling, and I saw the 3 3/4, real American hero, and I had to just go for it. They were there, they're in stock, they're at a price I think is pretty decent, because they look like the 25th anniversary figures from, you know, a good few years ago, and some of those are getting pricey on the secondary market, and then just to have some of that nostalgia feels again for having the packaging and being surrounded by 3 3/4 figures, because the last few years it's always been about 6-inch figures, and I've not had a G.I. Joe or Action Force figure for a good few years, maybe like 5-6 years since I picked up like Alpine and Bazooka from the 25th anniversary. So I was just like, this is like perfect. He looks like Sunbow. He looks pretty much exactly like the toy, and as I said, I'm trying to get like this eclectic mix on the shelf of various styles, but just exude the 80s for me. So I'm not fussed about the packaging because I have a couple of carded G.I. Joe stuff, so let's bust him out as well. Yeah, they are so similar to the 25th anniversary, but no O-ring, but they break anyway. And then you kind of want to savour the O-ring for that OG feel anyway. There needs to be some difference to keeping stuff vintage, but yeah, he's incredible. So there's a holster for his knife. You can put his gun on his back. God, some joints are really tight. Oh, Chrome Dome himself. When you haven't had 3 3/4 figures for ages, I think I'd forgotten how much fun and pick up and play value they do have. So yeah, he's got gun, knife, and then there's also a stand. They work really well with the stands. I always feel that they do need the stand, because they are one nudge on the Kallax and over we go like dominoes. Oh, I'm so super pleased. Yeah, these are epic. Don't get hooked. Absolutely don't get hooked. Although I think, is there some reveals this week? Did I see? Well, since the end of last year, or at the start of this year, I've really been anxious and interested and ready to get back into buying Transformers, and I really wanted to get something from the main line, and my mate messaged me and said they've got Studio 86 Scourge in stock. I'm like, what, like right now? And he's just like, yeah, I've just bought one. And I was like, okay, cool. I raced down to go and have a look, pick up one, and obviously I come back and I have bought Power Rangers Lightning Collection, Trini, the Yellow Ranger, and King Sphinx. It was there, it was in my hand, I almost bought it, but when I walked through the door, I was greeted by Power Rangers, and I literally I was just, I was hooked. I absolutely love the first 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. When it erupted, in the 90s on my TV screens on a Saturday morning, I was like blown away. I'd never seen anything like it. I'd never seen a Godzilla movie. I just didn't even know what Super Sentai was. And I was absolutely hooked. I was like 14, 15 years old. It was like the perfect age, I think, for myself to enjoy it, and especially the first 3 series. After the movie, I wasn't interested in it, but I've always loved just that first initial blast of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, especially series 1. It's got everything that you could want from a TV show at that time for a teenager. There's big fighting animalistic robots, there's martial arts, there's teen angst, there's morals, there's romance. It's kind of got everything, as well as just kick-ass fight scenes. And the Pink Ranger has always been my favourite ever since the start, but I've got a lot of love for the Yellow Ranger, and it called out my name when I saw it on the shelves. I dig the saber-toothed tiger. I think she had the best Zord. I love the helmet, but what sold it for me was the stance at the back. The Yellow Ranger's that unique kind of take where it's a guy in the yellow suit, but Trini is the female actress. But I just absolutely dig that person's martial arts style and that helmet. And then I just it was there. As I said, I was just absolutely hooked. And at that moment in time, the toy store was doing a buy one get one half price, so I was just like, I'm going all in. I love season 1. He's an incredible villain. He's so tonk and hefty. Him and Goldar going full pelt against the Power Rangers. It's such a good episode, and I was just like, I need a companion piece. If you've seen my channel before, I often pick up toys as duos, or I try to have that mentality that I want to get pieces that go together. Batman and the Grey Ghost, the T800 with a robot power arm, and the T100 that changes colour. Those types of things can have, a cool looking display case that mean something to me, and he's just one of my ultimate villains of the show. And just because I have nothing Power Rangers at all in my collection, as I alluded to, the Pink Ranger is my absolute favourite, but I've got one of the retro carded figures pre-ordered, so that's going to be here at some point. But are you ready for the boring statement that happens every video? I never had the toys as a kid, so I want to embrace them now. So yeah, I have no Power Rangers representation in my collection. I'm just fully ready to embrace the Lightning collection. These might be the only 2 I get, but I can't wait to get this guy out. He's an absolute behemoth. And blast effects. This is my first real experience of blast effects. Yeah, so I didn't actually get Scourge. This is part 2 of the haul video, and in part 1 it was my birthday gift unboxing, and I got 2 gifts, and one of them was Prince Adam and the Sky Sled. I had to get it out of the box. I literally got it out of the box that night. I was just in pure excitement. I'd mentioned that I never had a Masters of the Universe vehicle, and totes missed out as a kid for sure. This thing is incredible. It's so heavy, and it looks like it jumped off the screen. It's incredible. It's got the absolute pew pew factor, obviously, hasn't it? Pew 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 pew. And it looks incredible. It feels incredible. You can switch out the heads. There's blast effects. You can take off these and put snakes on, or dragons. It's awesome. It's so good. And the fact that it comes with Prince Adam in his purple trews and fluffy boots, along with the pink sword, which in fact it is a double. It's a one-piece doubled sword. Usually when you buy He-Man and Skeletor, they come as a thinner 2 separate pieces. That's pretty much the standard for any of those characters' accessories. Look at that face. That is the face of Prince Adam, and that hair. That is pure screen accuracy hair. What I love about this Origins line is they are just kind of like taking the best parts out of all of the things that have come before. You know, so some of the figures look like the toy Skeletor. Man at Arms, they've added the moustache, but kind of just made it look like the toy. They've given this a Filmation head, but some of the other releases, the second releases of He-Man and Skeletor, have more toy accurate heads, and they're so poseable. You know, you can almost get him up high. And look up. The beauty is, I didn't realise this, that they're modular, so you can pop on different heads. Just incredible amounts of poses. They pop. They absolutely pop. The colours are so vibrant, and they've done that kind of that lovely mix of shiny plastic but with matte, and it just works an absolute treat. They're a high recommend for me, and they're at an incredible like price point. Like some of them are like $14.99 on Amazon. You know, I just think that's, for what you get nostalgic packaging, great articulation, more points of articulation than the Super 7 stuff. Like each iteration, so whether it's Super 7 or Mattel, you tailor it to what your tastes are. The Super 7 stuff do that perfect recreation of the original toy with the punch action and the aesthetic and the build, and then this just gives you what you kind of want as a adult collector, with extra articulation and thoughtful design. The mix of tailoring it to screen accuracy or toy accuracy, whatever you want to do, or someone like me that just takes the essence of a character and kind of wants a little bit of everything. This though, this is something else. The fact that it comes with a stand that's movable. I'm digging this so much. The other gift I got was War for Cybertron Kingdom Cyclonus. What a revelation this is. I am gushing again over toys. This is incredible. This is by far one of the best toys I have had this year. Any fears I had about Transformers and their QC, none at all with this. This just, it's next level. I can't believe how good and how far Transformers have progressed since I last had one. Hats off to the designer, because I can't fault this at all. The styling, the aesthetics, the colour choices, it just exudes the character. It's incredible that the fact that they moulded the gun to fit in to his wrist and his arm perfectly. The light piping is just absolutely incredible, and what a pose, you can just put it in awesome poses, and when you do, that's an open arm, and there's no gaps at all. Usually Transformers get a bit waffly, but this just, both modes, but this is just, it's absolutely stunning. It feels weighty, it looks fantastic. I'm in awe of Cyclonus. It's stunning. I haven't got anything more to say than the same things over and over again. I had to get it out of the packaging straight away. And then I didn't stop playing with it until the wee hours of the morning. Incredible. Talking of birthdays, I decided to get myself a birthday present. Not usually something that I do, but because I did sell my retro gaming collection, it allowed me to spend some money on myself in terms of toys, in the way of perhaps going for something a bit more expensive. I wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise. And because these are somewhat controversial with their known QC issues and complications, I'd got to that point where I was like, I'm not going to get them. But the fact that I could and was desperate for them, I went for it, fully knowing that I've probably got a project on my hand. I went for Defenders of the Earth, first wave from NECA. Defenders of the Earth is one of my all-time favourite cartoons from that time period. Incredible storytelling, bringing together different characters from the various comics and putting them all together. It's just an awesome cartoon. And when I saw these revealed at the Toy Fair, I was just like, wow, they look absolutely incredible. I've got various NECA toys in my collection, and I've been one of the lucky ones where I've had very few issues with NECA figures. Kind of got like one loose hand on Marty McFly, and a couple of slightly stiff joints on others, but I'm fully ready to kind of bathe them and deal with any kind of paint chippings. I've still got tons of Citadel paints that I know I can kind of touch them up where I know that they're going to chip, just from known issues from other toy collectors and vloggers, but these just look ridiculously good. So we've got Flash, super cool artwork A little homage to the Gloob logo. A little bio, and you can see Lothar and Mandrake. That's the second wave coming later on in the year. Ming the Merciless, just the paint, the design just looks absolutely spot on. And then he's probably the plainest looking of all of them, but Phantom's just such an awesome character, and it comes with Zaffy. Just extra accessories. I know this is going to be a project, but I'm so looking forward to taking my time with them and hoping that I get a good set. You probably won't be able to pick it up on the camera, but his booties are starting to chip on the joint. So yeah, the red paint is showing underneath, but as I said, I've got a Baden black and I've got like a lacquer. I can still give it that shine. So even if they do chip a little, when I do want to pose them, I think Citadel Paints will be able to take it. I cannot wait to get those out, but I kind of feel like I'm gonna savor that moment. I'm surrounded by a whole wealth of different toys to dig into over the next few weeks for sure. I mentioned that I didn't get Scourge, sadly, but Tuesday morning, the day after my birthday, after hours of playing with Cyclonus, the Transformers Facebook groups erupted with it being back in stock with a supplier, so I ordered it there and then, and this afternoon, lo and behold, he's here. There was no way I was passing up that opportunity, especially with how good Cyclonus is, and as previously mentioned, I like companion pieces, so yeah, no way was I not going to take that chance to own it. So here he is in his full glory. What a sculpt, what a face sculpt. Both modes look awesome. I'm not too fussed on this blast effect, take that or leave it. Cyclonus and Scourge are just my absolute favourites from the movie. I mentioned it in my birthday haul that they were a real step change in design when it comes to Transformers. Purple, pointy warriors. Obviously wasted no time at all getting this guy out. Again, incredible, absolutely sublime. The colours, I've probably mentioned it every time with each toy I've got out, they just, colours are perfect. You know, I want screen accuracy for some toys, and he's perfect. From the accents on his fingers to his painted red eyes, that sculpt, that face sculpt is perfect. That's exactly the Scourge I see on the screen. He's a bit kibbly at the back, but I can forego that because it does give that pointed winged effect that he has. And obviously with his companion piece, they look incredible together, so sympathetic. Awesome, pure awesomeness delivered by Hasbro. I'm shocked and in awe. So much fun to be had for the next X amount of months with this haul. You know, it's not to everyone's cup of tea to stockpile. Sometimes you just want to get everything you have opened, but I've enjoyed kind of just getting stuff here and there, popping it to one side so I can grab it later and open it on on screen, kind of, I want you guys to come along on my toy collecting journey and see the highs, and I think there may be some lows with Defenders of the Earth, who knows. Super exciting toys, and super exciting toys to come. We've been gifted through COVID-19 for just incredible reveals, and I'm super excited for the next year to come with more and more toys. I've been reacquainted with Transformers and Masters of the Universe. I've dipped back into G.I. Joe. Power Rangers is new for me, and being a toy collector is just now my sole hobby. God knows what I'm going to review first. Yeah, I'm no idea, but stay tuned to the channel. There'll definitely be something soon. It'll probably be one of these. I've been Rudy Zissou, and always remember, it's as much about play as it is display. Thanks for watching.